Hi, I'm Joe. I'm an alcoholic. All of us here at White Chip hope that you've been enjoying our audiobooks and AA speakers. You are welcome to join our Facebook group. Just click the link in the description and say hello. If you support the Alcoholic Anonymous cause, please hit the like and subscribe button. We upload new AA content every day, so if you want to see more, hit the notifications button. This way, you'll be the first to know when we've uploaded a new video. Without further ado, let's listen to the next AA speaker.
Best thing I can say about him is he's really a good AA. And he's helped a lot of people. And I've been a part of a lot of people's sobriety up here in his sharing. And he's got a good program. And I'm going to let his sponsor come up and say a word or two about him, too. Come on, BC.
I'm B.C. Miller, I'm an alcoholic and drug addict. And because this program works, I haven't found it necessary to take a drink or do any drugs since May of 1984. For that, I'm truly grateful. And I'm sure Stevie's got plenty to say. Anything that I would say would probably be, need to be self-serving, so I'm going to let Stevie go right now.
Hi, everybody. I'm Stevie. I'm an alcoholic and an addict. And I, too, am nervous. I've been sober there by the grace of God, and that's the only way I know of. Everything I've done got me here. I know that a lot of what got me here was also the grace of God, because I couldn't have needed the questions or had the questions, I don't think, that I try to find out the answers to these days without the grace of God. I started off my drinking and using career, I guess, early 60s, when I was somewhere around 7 or 8 years old. I grew up in an alcoholic family. My father was an alcoholic, and even though I saw the problems that alcohol caused in our family, I still found it attractive for some reason. I don't know what that was. I thought I was missing something. I was always a kid who was afraid I was going to miss something. Somewhere along the line, I started trying to find out why my father would go back and continue to drink, even though every time he did, I saw what happened, which was big fights, violence, and we were always real scared of him. But he continued to do it anyway, and I never did understand what that was until one day, a few years later, I realized that I wasn't doing anything any differently other than making a little bit more money and add a few drugs to it, I guess about 7 or 8 years old, I started stealing drinks. My parents used to have these 42 parties, and quite a few people would come over, and they'd be having the Tom Collins or whatever, and when somebody wasn't looking, I'd take one of the drinks and run in the kitchen, and make them a new one. And refresh their drink, It's just that I would refresh my memory about what it tasted like a lot of the time. I never really thought that it tasted very good or anything. And then one day I tried to make myself a drink out of my dad's bourbon that was in the freezer. It didn't taste very good either. I guess it was the wrong brand or something. But somewhere along the line, I started finding that attractive somehow. About the same time, ear, nose, and throat doctor who, it was general practice with him when you went in for him to take a look up your nose, he would squirt you full of what I later found out was a strong solution of liquid cocaine. And I never really knew why my face was numb when I left there, and why I felt a little different, but I later on found out that I didn't know how to breathe without the stuff, because it was in a nose spray he gave me. The first bottle said use, once every 24 hours. The second bottle said use 2 or 3 sprays every 12 hours, and the next one said use as needed. And I did. But I guess as I was going into junior high was when I really started trying to drink. we'd moved to Graham, Texas, and I really didn't want to go at all. I'd gotten in the first band that I really wanted to be in, and was excited about it, and we had to move, and I had to give up everything, including my way. We got to Graham, and my parents had told me we were going to be there for about 6 weeks, and that was about 6 weeks into the 6 months that we stayed there. While I was going to school there, actually the first day I went to school there in Graham, Texas, just to show you how much I liked it. I got kicked out of school 3 times the first day, and I didn't even do anything. I just went to school, and they didn't like how my belt was. They didn't like how my hair was cut twice. And I real quick found this guy that sold Alka-Seltzer bottles full of sour mash. And continue to find him every day, Even though I didn't like how it tasted, it just kind of helped me smooth along, Because there wasn't anything that I really wanted there. I'd get beat up all the time, and there wasn't anybody to play any music with. When we stayed there for about 6 months, and finally I just told my parents that I wasn't going back to school anymore, and that ended up being about the same time we moved back to Dallas. And back to Dallas for me was, I didn't realize what I was doing at the time, but really all I really was doing here at the time was, I was trying to play music and everything, but the main thing I was doing was hanging out with the kids down the street. And what they did all the time was see how they could get high this way or that way, And I thought that all I was doing was just trying to be in with the people, with these kids. What I was really doing was learning how to get high and stay high all the time and run away from what was going on, which was, I guess what was going on really was that, people grow up and they learn things about living life and grow. That never dawned on me. I just thought you just kind of went from day to day, and you got older, and then things happened, and you graduate or quit school or whatever. At any rate, I just learned how to bag glue and how to figure out this pill was this kind and this was that kind, and if you hit real hard on this joint, you might get a buzz. Usually I was scared to, though, at the time. The thing was, that was the only thing I knew how to do. The only thing I knew how to do was just try to get by every day. I wasn't really learning anything about living life. There was really no information at home because I couldn't. It was pretty violent in my house. I couldn't go and ask my dad about things. I couldn't go ask my dad about school or about girls or about anything because it was pretty much you're supposed to know that stuff on your own. Or just leave me alone. Is this your stuff? Get it out of the room, So I just continued to try to find out things from the kids down the street, and that wasn't the way to really go. I didn't know that. What I did keep learning though was about bands, and not to blame my drinking or anything on bands, but I sure learned a lot about it there. Because that was, and still is, unfortunately, in a lot of places, that's where a lot of the myth about it's real neat to get high, or real cool to get high. That's where I learned a lot of it. Because a lot of the people I really looked up to really knew how to drink and really knew how to get high. And along with every time I would get in a better band, it seemed like there were better drugs, better brand of gin or whatever, And I always thought I had to keep up. I just thought I had to keep up. Why that was, I don't know. I would see someone who I really cared about and know that and this is a pattern that's gone on most of my life, and I still don't understand why it's attractive to me, or has been. I would see someone who I really cared and loved, cared for and loved, and that they couldn't do anything unless they were shooting something, and I would see that it would be literally killing them, and that would be a good reason for me to try it. I don't know. I don't understand that. But that's a pattern that I developed. I saw it with my father. I saw it with very close friends, and I've seen it in people who are no longer alive, you know. I'm glad to say that I'm not doing that anymore. Because there was a stage in my life where I got to experimenting. Not like I thought experimenting was in the first place, but what happens to you if you do this much? You know? There was a time in my life when a normal day would be to pull out whatever I could get my hands on and do it all at once. It wasn't do it till it was gone, it was do it all right then. And it would be enough to kill somebody. But for some reason, that was what I did. And I would sit there and go, well, this is what happens, and stay alive somehow. And I got it in my head that that was I don't know, somewhere along the line I got this verse, or it's not even a verse, it's just something in the Bible where in the last days people will be trying to kill themselves and can't. And that's what I thought I was doing, I think. For some reason I thought I couldn't die. I guess that's that Superman deal that we get. Through the years, all this progressed, and I just got to where everything I was doing was on a road to killing me. The only thing that I was doing that wasn't destructive was trying to play music. But that was really quickly taking a back seat to everything else. I still cared about someday finding something that meant something to me inside and with another person or with other people. I still cared about growing somehow, but bit by bit all of that was going somewhere in the past where I couldn't reach it anymore. Yeah. I went and tried to find out how many crown rolls I could get, you know, and there's never enough. I learned that a long time ago. There's never enough dope and there's never enough to drink. There's either too much or not enough. You know, there's never just enough. But I went and tried anyway. And went back and I found I felt guilty already. I'm real good at the guilt. You know, I went straight back to the seat and sat down next to her. You know, and look, well, this is not what I did, you know, and she I kind of knew that, you know. Yeah. Anyway, we went back. We landed, and I went to a hotel room, stayed there till the next day. Went into treatment. I didn't expect to find out in treatment that was one of the coolest places I'd ever been. But that's what I found out. It wasn't what I thought it was going to be at all. Going through the regular stuff, you know. What if they find out I'm in here, or who's they, and you know, and I don't want to be here and all, you know, all this stuff. But once I started paying attention to what was going on in treatment, to recovery, it's been something that I've really wanted ever since. Not always been real good at sticking to a good, strong program, but at least I know that when I'm able to find those steps in my life that it works, and it's really the only thing it does, because anything else I'm doing is just trying to fix something else up to look the way I want it to look, or be the way I want it to be, instead of working my way into living life. But what I found in treatment was the same thing that I find in a meeting when I'm in the right place, in the heart of the meeting, and that's a bunch of people trying to help each other live life and grow in it. It's always been something that I've wanted to know about, and it's always been something that I've wanted to do. It's not always been something that I've done. Sometimes I don't even know what grow means, but it's something that I find every once in a while. I find grow, and then I feel like me. If that's not where I'm at, then I feel like a shell with a bunch of static going on. That's really the way I feel. In the program of AA, I found the only real lasting happiness that I've ever had. And it lasts whether I can really reach it or not. I don't know if that makes sense to you or not, but I know that it's there even though I can't always feel it. Because I know it's not out of something that I've made or bought or conned somebody out of. It's something that's bound to be real. I see it when I see other people come out of a real hard place to be into a more comfortable place with themselves. I know that must be growth. It's not just a new pair of boots or something, you know. I don't know, the hardest things that I've learned so far, I guess, is probably letting go of my own way, getting my own way, other people acting the way that I think they should act, or looking the way that I think they should look. I'm not out of that yet. It's just, that's my way, you know. My way is not the right way necessarily at all. And it's hard to admit that. It's hard to admit that I don't know it all. That's what I used to think. I used to think that if it wasn't done my way, that it was completely wrong and it couldn't be anything close to right because you just didn't know. I don't know, sometimes I find out that it's real comfortable not knowing everything, you know. Not knowing anything, in fact. It's funny, I'm real uncomfortable saying that right now, but that's the truth. I don't know, I just know that when I come to meetings, when I take the time to pray and to listen and to take a look at myself and try to change, that I grow. And when I try to offer that to someone else, I feel better. And that I don't have any need to drink or to take any drugs. And if that's what this program does, if that's all it does, then it helps me a whole lot. Because that's all I used to know, was drinking and using drugs. It's really all I knew. Because I didn't know how I felt. I still don't always know how I feel. A lot of times I still find myself confused about what I think and what I feel. I don't know the difference very often. And that's a scary place to be a lot of times. But slowly, day by day, that's working out. It's working out for the better. It's been about 3.5 years, I guess. Close to 3.5 years since I've had to drink. And it struck me New Year's Eve that to go and do what I had to do New Year's Eve was a lot different this year than I've noticed it being in the past, you know. And a couple of years ago it was like this. Last year it was kind of a daze. I was sick, but it was kind of a daze. This year I was actually happy to be alive. And noticed that I didn't have to be high to be up till 5 in the morning or whatever it was, you know. And that I could look out and realize that I was starting a new year with new things to try to do, and new things to try to care about. And one of them was me, and one of them was y'all. And what I do with my life. And commitments. Commitments has been another thing that I've never been very good at in my life. Well, I could get caught up in something real good, you know. I could get caught up in the mirror combing my hair, you know, or whatever. But commitments has not been something that I've been very good at. Because I was more scared of making a commitment than I was following it through, you know. But I realized that I'm still alive now. And that's an amazing thing to me. When I was 17, I thought I wouldn't make it to 21. When I made it to 21, I thought something's up, you know. what's going on here? When I passed 30, I thought something's wrong. I don't know. I'm just glad to be alive today. Glad to be alive today. I don't know. I don't really have a whole lot to say about anything other than knowing that if I let this program and if I let God do what He's going to do in my life, through you or through whatever, that it's a whole lot better than I ever could have done it myself before I came to this program. I thank y'all for letting me be here with you. Whether I know what to say about it or not, it means a lot to me. And I thank you, okay?
I'm going to ask a few people to come up and just say whatever they might have on their hearts. And before we start that, I just want to say one thing. I'll probably say several things before I get through it. But the one thing I want to say right now is that, I got the most Stevie in the program at Alcoholics Anonymous, so I got to be in that deal, the position that I like to call friend, and AA calls something else sometimes. But I met Stevie a long, long time ago. I guess he was probably 17. And at the time, he was living in Austin, and Glenda lived with him at the time. And I think that these other three guys that I was working with at the time, one night we saw, I knew Stevie's brother, and I knew Stevie was in the bed. I had seen him play in a couple of bands, and he was kind of in this real kind of muddy band at the time, and I couldn't quite tell what they were doing, and myself and Billy, who's in the program, and Doyle, who's in the program, which is talking about a miracle. That's the first story guy that ever struck me in, man. All in the program, and that's what made the last year start great, is all these guys that thought it was, I'm bad, I'm nationwide, I'm high, and somebody was the kind of look at being high as an asset, boy. Oh yeah, that kind of guys. But, and we walked up to Stevie one night and said, hey man, you're playing a real band or something real appropriate like that, and he just kind of went like, you. But when he saw these guys also had to play with his brothers, and he went for it right away. And I think like the next night probably, my mind doesn't recall it, but the point I want to get to is almost immediately I was living in this house. He had a house in Austin, and they had a house in Austin, and like I think that night or the next night I was moving in. And right away we were listening to these old records and looking at old crap and talking about the weirdest things in the world, blues to mayonnaise. I mean, just talking about everything. But the guy treated me like he had always known me at that time. And he was as open and as sweet and I don't know, as giving as anybody. That's about the quickest anybody ever let me into their life was the way he treated me. And, I don't think I'll ever forget that part. And, right now I have somebody to come up and say what they have on their mind. And I don't know anybody, well, maybe there's one person. I was going to say I don't know anybody any closer to Stevie than this guy. Renee is involved with Stevie in his workplace. And he's a very close friend. And I'm really pleased that Renee was able to be here tonight to read his words to this celebration that y'all are giving to Stevie. Renee, you come on.
My name is Renee. I'm an alcoholic. I think about Stevie and I just want to break down. But Stevie had nothing prepared at all, but I guess I never really had anything prepared until I tried to accept God into my life and to help me share what I've experienced through AA. And it's because of AA that I'm sober today. It's because of a power greater than me that kept me from having to drink. And I really feel this power even more so than ever before in my life. I started working with Stevie in '85. Sometimes I can't remember when exactly because we were really partying hard at the time. He was always the kind of person who, even then, was giving and was concerned about you, how you felt, if you were being taken care of, and he did see that you were being taken care of. And always was just really taking care of you in any way, shape, or form. I can relate to some ideas right now that I decided to get in my head. I'd have to travel with him sometimes to go to various meetings or recording days or studio, that sort of thing. It would be just me and him. And we'd get to the airport and we'd say hi. And the first thing that came to his head was Orange City. And I go, well, I'm on road 30 or something like that. He goes, what? 30, hold on a second. And he looked at his and he kind of like said, come over here. And we go over to the airline receptionist place and we want to get a seat with me next to him. He'd be like, first class or something like that. He didn't book all things, so he had to go by what was being booked, but he wanted me to sit next to him. And we get there and there wouldn't be a seat available. And I go, see, it's okay, don't worry. I'm fine. I'm back there if you need me, it'll be okay. And we'd be on the plane and everybody'd be sitting down, everybody'd take the stewardess to say, please sit down, we can't taxi, so everybody sit down. And just at that point, I hear come with Martinez, please come to the front. And I kind of like just shake my head, and I go up, and there's Stevie Ray looking back at me, smiling, and doing like that, and I think somewhere behind him or next to him or something like that, and I go, Stevie, there's something else. And he goes, all right. And that's taking care of somebody, and he always wanted to be close to somebody, and he did that on several occasions, I always thought that was really neat, and sometimes we just all didn't fit, it's just classic. But everywhere we went, everywhere we worked at, he was like that. He never really introduced me as his guitar tech. I took care of all of the students, took care of all the guitars. I helped him set up his gear. I took care of all that. That was my job. And when it came to introducing me, he would introduce me, this is my friend, Renee. And it wasn't like this is my hired hand or help or anything like that, That's the kind of guy he was, and I always thought that was just really neat, He'd be sitting there with him at the airport, he could come up asking for autographs, and it's kind of hard, I don't know how you feel about it, but for me it's still hard. Always people want to see him, they want to have his autograph, and I kind of want to get out of the way, yet I protective of him, okay, there's some Lulu out there, and he'd always bring me into the picture, introduce me, and he does my guitars, as Renee does my guitars, takes care of me, and people go, oh, wow, this is Renee Martinez, blah, blah, blah. And I feel kind of like, oh, yeah, this is Stevie's deal, it's not mine, but he kept reassuring me all the time, you're going to have to get used to it, right? And it was very hard to get used to it, It was hard to run on stage with Stevie Ray and help him when a guitar string would break or his strap would fall. I would have to run out there and change guitars or help him with his strap, and sometimes it looked real good and sometimes it looked like a big screw up on stage, But it was okay. It was his stage, and later come to realize it was really our stage, but he was always giving, and what I'm trying to lead to is that when we got into recovery, it was hard to adjust to some things. He came into the program before I did. I followed later on. My sobriety date is January 1st, 87. It happened to be January 1st. It wasn't a New Year's resolution or anything like that. Just one of those things where there was time to do something, And, but then I thought too, well, that's a good day. I can remember that, So it wasn't too hard, and, it was hard. It was hard not to have a drink at first, And I went through some days, and it was pretty rough, And I kept trying to do this deal about, coming to believe that a power to take care of me, and it felt like it worked, And we came to have meetings on our own on the road. We had meetings wherever we could, in different places, different parts of the world. And we decided we'd have meetings on our own, so we formed our own group. And that helped a whole lot. There were times in early sobriety that we were having difficulty with alcohol and drugs. It was all around us all the time, And since we couldn't make everybody quit drinking, it was their own deal. They had to do it on their own. I saw that. I figured that was something they would have to do, but it was hard. Stevie, on the other hand, with maybe one or two of us having difficulty with that, was ready to due to addiction, that sort of thing, and we talked about that too, and it's because of AA and what principles and what steps that we had to decide that these people got to decide on their own. We have our own group, we have a problem, we can talk to each other, call alcoholic or another alcoholic, or talk to sponsors and so forth, Keeping the AA tradition going as best as we knew how, early in sobriety. We turned out to be, there were four of us, with a few months, 6 months or whatever, sobriety, amongst us, and we're all trying to help each other out, and it was hard, I know we talked many times to a sponsor, and I did as much as I could. I talked with my friend, who was on a crew, who happened to be in AA, and we talked a lot. And he was a real pain in the butt, he was sick, and this guy, if God put anybody into my life to keep me straight, and he put him into my life, This guy was screaming, cussing, yell at you for no reason whatsoever, and you did this and you did that, and boy, do I want to drink, and that's it, I'm tired of it, and I want to get drunk. And we just, had to think all over again and think, well, what am I going to do here, And it's because AA again, and David and me, that we were able to sit down and we were all able to talk things over, and the drink problem was really going away, and then finally it was okay, That's what we all shared together. That's what Stevie really wanted to share with everybody, and we went to even a greater extreme, We literally went up on the microphone and talked to everybody, during these shows, while in sobriety. And I thought that was just, that was something else, and then it came to my head, all these things, but this is what he wanted to do, he wanted to share the message, he wanted to get it across, that somewhere along the line, maybe a secret planet, and that's what y'all did to me. Y'all gave me more seeds to grow with, I come here, these seeds, you gave me so much, and you tried to help each other, trying to cure the drink problem, the alcoholics, and it never stopped, this went on for a long time. I think I'm going to say a long time, like about a year, we were into sobriety, all of us, and out of nowhere, one of our guys came back to the hotel, and we happened to run into each other, and he was talking to someone who happened to go to AA and decided to straighten out his life, and it was hard to know if he's still sober, I had to tell Stevie that, and he would go out. He said, it's amazing, the power of this program, power of God. You know, what I'm trying to say is that he didn't say, I did it. You know, it wasn't me. You know, he said the message of the power of God, you know, is getting to the people, you know. And I really thank him for that, you know. That's Stevie Ray, you know. Most of the program, I don't think there was a bag, a luggage bag out there big enough to carry all the books that he carried with him when he got on that damn plane. And this book, this satchel is just crammed full of books, you know. Every book you can imagine. I've never seen any of these books out on planes, you know. Or thanks, that tells you where I'm at with my program. But he would always have these books, and that's why he sat down next to me, I guess, because at one point, with all the books that he had with him on board, and then in front of him in a library, he would always reach into his coat pocket and pull out a bunch of these. And he'd look over at me and go, you want one? And so here's that more books than he had. Anyway, I'd go, yeah, sure. And I'd grab one. I'd look at the ones that he had. He had about 4 or 5 of them. And I'd look at one, and this is one of the ones that he handed over to me. And I said, I'll take this one here. And he looked at me, and he looked at that book, and he'd go, which one did you get? And I go, I just one here. And I'd open it up, and I'd start reading it, and before long, he would be over. Looking at me, and waiting for me to say something about what I've read, and I go, wow, this is real. I can identify with this here, and he would listen. And what I'm trying to say is that, you know, he was open as much as he could. He wanted to hear what other people had to say. He wanted to be hearing messages, you know, from other people. Just as we hear messages when we go to meetings, we listen to other people. You know, I do. I listen to other people and try to get something out, and I do walk away with something, you know, that somebody else has shared with me, and that's like a real gift, you know. And me as an alcoholic, I need that. I need to go home with something on my mind that can hopefully, you know, interrupt that thought of drinking somewhere down along the line, you know, and it's just for that day, and that's real good, you know. I don't have to worry about tomorrow anymore. I don't have to worry about yesterday, just today. And if I go home with that kind of thought, you know, it's a good feeling, you know. And if I need more help over here, you can book here, you can, of course, is here all the time if I let him. And this is what Stevie, for me, was always trying to do, you know, trying to carry the message, you know, and I think he was really hard at work with that. Besides being a good friend, you know, besides getting so much of him, you know, and besides, I know this is not AA related at all, but being the best guitarist in the whole world, being able to work for the best, you know, was, it's just, I don't know how to explain this in words, you know, how it really felt to be able to work with his guitars, you know, and try to do the best that I could for him as far as making it play so easy that he could get out there to play with the message or whatever that was guitar-wise, you know, and just feel comfortable enough that after he got through playing a particular solo that he could get on the microphone and talk to people, feel comfortable, you know, they're letting the imagine so much that I don't know how to explain it in words, and I always feel good that this baby that's here, you know, that I'll treasure for a long time, and I don't read this here, something wrong, but I left with no bad feelings or anything like that, you know. I left with it was a lengthy phone call early in the morning. I found out about this, and it was real bad. And I remembered what happened the night before, and I was going through craziness for a couple of hours, and then I started thinking, and he was in his dressing room. I walked into his dressing room that night, and to ask him about beer that we were going to be taking to Europe the following week. And there he was, sitting on the couch, with a real frustrated look on his face, someone trying to sew this patch on his leather jacket. And, you know, he didn't go out of his way to ask anybody to do this thing. And I saw him, he looked at me like I thought I had done something wrong, you know, and then I noticed what was going on, and I'm feeling this little patch on my back that's coming off, you know. And I said, well, I want to go over this gear list with you here. And then I told him, please leave me alone, I'll take care of it. I said, you think this is a real sore? Because I've been playing about a month. And I said, leave me alone, I'll do it. I said, you got to play tonight. I said, we had classes tonight. And I said, just let me handle that, please. And then finally, it's like, really? And I said, yeah, it's okay. And he got a big smile on his face. And I'll just get that. And I wound up finishing it up. And he joking with me. And he's like, he was able to do what he wanted to do, you know. And I like that, you know. And it's just things that I wanted to do, you know. I was taking care of him. And I wanted him to have to play as best as he could. He was losing messing with no patch and a leather jacket, you know. There's a couple more, just one more thing that I did for him, and you know, he was looking for a strap, a leather strap to hold on the cross that had broken, and I went and found something, and he was able to wear it that night, and that smile on the face, you know, don't forget, you know, and there's nothing, no bad feelings of any kind, you know, and then because of the program of AA, trying to straighten up my life, and trying to keep all these defects out of my way, you know, and it's working, you know, it's slowly but surely working, you know. And I like it. I like to get sober. I like it a whole lot, and it's worth it. I can tell you that. I won't take up too much more of your time. I'd like to read something here, something that Stevie gave me. Celebrating, I don't know how word gets out, but I guess we're all so close together on the road that stuff leaks out. I happen to, I was 3.5 years of sobriety this past year on the road, and I told my buddy about it, and next thing I knew, she would come up to me at the end of the show out of nowhere and said, oh, by the way, I've got a little present for you for your 3.5 years. It just, you know, made me choke, you know, wow, man, this guy would even do something like this. I have this hard schedule, you know. So what it is just a little thing here, and it talks about world peace. And I'd like to read it to you, and I'll step out of the way here. It says, affirming today's statement of truth helps me live in harmony with those near to me, and to send a message of peace to all the people of the world. In prayer, I commit my thoughts, my words, my life to the peace of God. I contribute to the well-being of myself and to the well-being of people around the world. I can help to alleviate unrest right where I am or in any area far away. My prayers and affirmations radiate peace to bless those near and far. I understand that no matter where in the world I may be, I live and move and have my being in God. This is the truth about me and the truth about others. There is no place in the world where the peace of God is not present. And one more, I understand that I can live peacefully in the world and give peace to my world. I am one of God's creations of love and peace. So thank you. I'm glad to be here. Thank you very much. Thanks, man. Yeah. Comes and goes. I guess you see the, I don't know what we're doing, but for sure, but, well, you can see something about Renee, the kind of guy he is, and the kind of people that we're around to are people like Renee, and you can see people close with him, living with him, talk about him, and, you know, you can be liking somebody pretty good and get in the bus with him and go across town, not liking so good once you get over there. And he's been with him for years riding those buses, and you can see what he thinks of Stevie. And what's funny about people in Stevie is that people who don't know him in the way that Renee knew can get to, I don't know, so why he let me in that first night, he's let some other people in like that, and you have somebody come up now that I don't think necessarily knew him all that long, but I bet he's got something to say about the time where I did one, Jimmy. My name is Jimmy Danger. I'm an alcoholic. remember the first time I saw that little guy. And I thought, and I didn't see him anymore for a couple of months. And I kept running into the little central group. And I was thinking, as he was talking a while ago, I was finding millions when he was 17 out of prison living in that house with us. And I lived in houses like that with people. You meet them one night, and the next night you're living with each other, and you know everything about everything from losing the man at you. You know, everything's important. And you know, I feel real good to have listened to this guy talk about him and to know somebody that knew that well. And I had a rough month, and I've been sick. I've been sick in the bed three weeks, and my mom died 2 weeks ago, and I had to go to Kentucky and deal with that, and I came back and then this happened. But I went to I went to South Padre Island over the weekend, and you know, this is affected me in a way I was telling Mary Ellen. It's kind of like really, it's very strange that I've been affected this way. But I'm going to tell you how I was touched by this guy, and I didn't know it as long as Renee knew him, but I was touched as deeply as this man was touched by him. And I got this deal that I started about 3 years ago. And we were having some rocky times, especially back in the summertime. It's really a non-profit deal, and it's been struggling. And so we got to talking about how we could come up and do some things. And someone said, "Hey man, there's a little guy in this program, and you might want to go talk to him." And I'm kind of, we got a lot of false pride, and I thought, I ain't gonna do that. I'm not gonna, burden people with that. But anyway, there came a time when I thought, I think I'll do that. I think I will do that because we had no other choice. And what that was, when it changed, when there's no other thing to do but change. Anyway, I wanted to meet him anyway. I wanted to get to know him anyway. I wanted to get to know Stevie Vaughan, And I called him up. Someone gave me his number. I said, "Hey man, I'd like to talk to you." He said, "Okay. We want to talk." I said, "Well, if it's up to you, man." And we said a date to talk. And I told him I wanted to show him the foundation of my story. He said, "I'd love to go see it, man." And they put it off a couple of times. And they come back in town and he called me. So finally we got together one night. And I walked him through the place. And we got to the front door, and this girl walked up, the one of the girls in the house, and I said, "Oh my God, I can't believe it." He said, "Man, you see that? He was a real shy little guy. He was real, and he was sincerely shy. He had one of those things, for me, I'm talking about, this is my experience with him. And, this guy really is shy. He was really impressed by that, and he really didn't know what to do. And I walked into the house, and then we went down to the offices, and I introduced him to the lady that owns the office building where our foundation is, and I told her who it was, and 2 days later, she said, "God," she said, "that little guy you introduced me to was on the job." Of course, I can't believe it. She said, "Why didn't you tell me who he was?" I didn't have time to tell her. I was too busy trying to do this deal. And we sat around, and the thing we talked about, the thing that we ended up talking about more than any other thing, was that we both had older brothers. And it was a little hard to get along with older brothers. And I took him down to the booth. We got a little area of pathways. And we sit in the meeting at pathways. And after it was over, we rolled around. We talked about this deal for a little while. And I said, "Hey man," I said, "you know what we want to do? We want to do this concert." I said, "We're struggling." And I said, "Man, I really do need some help." He said, "I'll help you, man." And he wrote out his name and number. He said, "Tell him I said we're going to have a concert." And that was it. And I called his agent a few times and was going back and forth, and finally last week I talked to the guy Marshall, his agent, another real agent. And so we were going to have a date. It looked like it's going to be November or the first part of the year, and then the next thing I know is that he fell out of the sky in an airplane. And it didn't bother me, I was with the guy one night, But the thing that I want to share with you is that through the program of Alcoholics Anonymous, through the thing that this thing is about, is that, you know, I can remember when I was a drug addict, and I can remember my buddies getting killed on motorcycles. I can remember my buddies getting killed in robberies. I can remember my buddies getting killed in car wrecks. I can remember my buddies getting killed just shot, you know. And we used to be loaded. We used to think, guys, damn, man, you know, Harvey, man, he was a hell of a guy. And that was it. You know, and I wouldn't think anything about it, you know. And now in sobriety, you know, and the whole weekend that I was gone and well on that island, the only thing I think about is Stevie Ray Vaughan. You know? And just for a short period of time, that I was touched in a way that just kind of just blows me away. And I went to the funeral, and BC started reading how it works, and I started crying. And I came to a place where I never could cry before I found this program. Never. I'm telling you, you do not cry where I come from. You do not cry tears, you just don't do it. And I felt proud and honored to be a part of Alcoholics Anonymous during that deal. And I called BC up and told him, I told him, I said, BC, I don't want to speak for me, but you made me feel as good as I've ever felt in my entire life at that funeral to be a part of this deal, to be a part of this program called Alcoholics Anonymous. I feel the little guy more than he's gone now than I did when he was alive. I feel him in my house. I feel him in this deal right here. It's all in the way, and all I can do is just go. You know, just, I don't know. Somebody that knew Stevie a long time ago, he's here. And he's also known Stevie and Sobriety. And I think I'll just try to get on out of the road and let Linda come on up. I was one time an alcoholic addict. And I don't know how I'm going to do this, but I'm going to try my best. I met Stevie when I was 15 and a half years old. And I was a lunatic girl, and we'd gone down to Austin. He was playing at the Waterloo. And to say the least, I was in pretty square form. I was dancing with a pole. And I was rolling around, just bumping and grinding with this pole, and I turned around and he's looking at me, and he connected that night. And we drove back from Austin, and we took him go for some license and dropped him off in the store in high school. And it just was a connection right there that lasted quite a long time. We grew up real fast, and we decided we were going to quit school, and we were going to follow his brother down to Austin. And we did. He went down pretty much before I did, and I followed, and a lot of my memories of Stevie were during those 4 years. And I, of course, was full blown. And I really believe that I was full blown from the very moment that I was born. I really do. Stevie, on the other hand, when I heard this, I immediately went into overwhelm of all the memories that I have of him. And he was the most similar giving people I ever knew. And he was so sweet, and he was so tender. It was amazing. I never met a guy like this, you know, and he just put me under the king, and he took care of me. night that Stevie escorted me out of the bar because I could not walk. And he was just really there for me. And we were young and out there, really out there, and we lived all over Austin. It was one of those deals. The times were hard, you know. Stevie was, he always had his guitar, and he always, behind closed doors, would tell me, and this is something very important to me, because he would always tell me, you have to have something to believe in, that you have to have faith. And that has stuck with me for all these years, because this little guy, and he was quite little, he was both were, I mean, we're just two strong kids out there in the world doing the time of visibility. He had a lot of strength, and I can remember a lot of times where if I had been him, I probably would have given up, you know, and he didn't, he kept going. And I think, the more I think about it after he got into his program, is he always had that inner strength that it took. He always had it. He was very special to me and to a lot of people. He was very good and he was very humble. See, I knew Stevie at a time when he was selling, we were selling Coke bottles to dinner. I mean, it was, you know, it was called paying your dues, so to speak. We still remember as well. And, you know, you walk into the living room and there would be records everywhere. You couldn't even get to the kitchen because everywhere you went there was records. There was Jimi Hendrix, you know, with guitars, and everybody was jamming. I mean, I look back on Austin, what I can remember of it, and there's not a whole lot sometimes. I had some blackouts down there. And I think there was a lot of love, and there were a lot of people that connected down there. And the really thing for me is when I was about 6 months sober, I walked into the doors of Aquarius. I had started out at Dallas North 19. I walked into the doors of Aquarius, and I said BC. And I went, oh my God. I didn't have any idea. I turned around and there's Stevie, and I went, oh my God. It was the neatest thing I'd ever experienced. And these guys played a very, I don't know if they know it, but they played a very important role in my recovery. Because when I could see them, that's because I know what they did and what they went through. And when I saw them walk through, when I walked through these doors and I saw them, I went, my God, if they can do it, I can do it. I mean, it was such a good visual aid for me. I mean, I was going, they just don't know what a big part they played in my recovery, just seeing them. And I would kind of put up periodically and see Stevie and give me a big hug. And one day he walked up to me. I was kind of remember Stevie as a little boy. You know, he kind of had as a little boy was to me. He was really just a little sweetheart. And he walked up to me to go, Glenda, I finally got a divorce. And I said, God, that's great. You know, it really happens a lot around here. It's just, it's one of those deals. And he was so excited. And his life was changing. And he was really working hard. And I know that Stevie Vaughan, he fought a lot of battles, and he succeeded. You know, he succeeded in the deal, and that is so important to me today, to see someone with the strength and the belief and faith that he had that kept him going. I mean, I'm not very good at words sometimes. It's real hard for me to express how I feel about him. But one of the things that I truly regret is that I didn't make music the way I really wanted to make music. And this is something that came up to me immediately when I heard about crash. And even though I didn't say the words to him, I know, and his heart and my heart didn't hear me. You just kind of know those things. And Bill, he took me over to the casket that day, and he held my hand, and he said, let's make our amends. And I did, and it felt good. And I have some of the most wonderful memories of this man, that I just will cherish the rest of my life. And I know that what he's done out there is really going to pay a lot of people, I hope. I hope a lot of people get really serious about this deal, and they try it, and if you're here to me, I hope you get it today, and try another one, because the relationship is worth it. And I was going to try to think of a funny more story. There's one thing in Austin that I remember about Stevie was that, well, no, actually it was in Dallas, and the Nightcrawlers had formed their little get-together, and Stevie and I were kind of getting into a little argument about we were in California, but we were flying off to California. We didn't really know if we could afford it. We were at this club, and Stevie just like stage and has girls saying, it's my life, and I'll do what I want to. And every time Stevie would be playing guitar, she'd take a cigarette like that. It's my life. And I kind of remember that. That was a pretty neat deal. It was real funny. And we had to escort me out that night to the car. So, like I was saying, that took everything it took. It took every lid that we smoked every day to get us here. And I'm just truly grateful that he had the opportunity to experience this field before he went on to the next place. And I know he's in this place. I really do know that. And I love him to death, and I love the AA and the prayers, and I think. Thanks, Mother. Some things are hard, but they're good at the same time. I think we're going to try Stevie's face here in a second. I just, probably because he had a lot better than I could ever say, any kind of anything after all those people. But, when you ask somebody to talk about somebody that they care that much about, you better be prepared to listen. Because it's real hard to stand up here and say, yeah, I think Stevie's great, and, sit down. It's real hard to convince what you feel about somebody in a small space to call words. And I think it's obvious how these people feel about Stevie. I'm just the luckiest guy in the world. I got to see this tape now. Before I came over here, and it's a promo tape, and it's Stevie and Jimmy doing interviews for this album they did together, and hopefully it'll be on TV somewhere, and everybody can see it. But one of the things that has happened to one of the things that's happened for those guys is that it used to be, if there would be a tape, it would be Stevie doing all the talking, and Jimmy kind of going, and doing his hair. He does this with his hair. And on this tape, Jimmy's doing all the talking. And Stevie's just going, and every once in a while you see him go, and Jimmy just keep on talking, and you see him look at the camera like, what is this guy doing? And something has happened there. And I won't say exactly what's happened for Jimmy. I'll say Adam to me what I think's happened for Jimmy. And I know something that happened for Stevie as a result of being as close to him as I got to be in the position I got to be in. Walking through the steps of somebody, you really find out some stuff about him. You know, I mean, I've done a lot of it anyway, but, you know, all that other secrets. And I just know that when Stevie was young, that he had to go through some stuff that made it hard for him to show how he felt about people. He felt a certain way. He was soft, he was loving, he cared, he was kind, he was soft. But he went through some things over at his house that made him start closing down. And I know, I got to see it happen. It got worse and worse, you know. That was a tough thing that happened to him, moving the night crawlers, you know. I mean, we were all 6 years older than we were, and we were way off into it. And he was 17 years old, so trying to jump in with us, and it was tough on him. You know, he was 23, 24, and drinking 5 years heavy, and he just tried to step right in there with us. And what seemed to happen is he started to close down a lot. Renee says that he was still able to show how he cared, and I think he was to a few choice people. And what I saw from my perspective happen to Stevie as a result of being in AA was it was okay for him to let people know how he thought and how he felt, and how it was okay for him to let them know in a genuine way. It was so okay that he would stand up before 15, 20, 30,000 people and talk about his recovery right in front of him in a song that he wrote for one of his dear friends who had passed away earlier. And I mean, that's all the guy had to give, was everything, and that's what he was given. And the program with AA seemed to be what gave it back to him. And I know it's real easy. It's been real easy for me to be way, way sad the last few days. But as a result of some bits and pieces of information that was brought to me over the last few days, and things, plans that were answered for me and for other members of the family, and the feeling that I had the other day at that service, I know that there's a design in living, and it seems to be that there's, I never said this before, but a design in death. There's something going on here, and my part is to take what Stevie gave to me and to try my hardest to keep on giving it. And I will, it's one thing to have gratitude and hold it for yourself, but we truly have gratitude for what that fellow gave us. Well, then I think that he wouldn't want any more from us than for us to try to keep passing it on. There was a dream that came to the family the day after Stevie was killed, and his brother shared it with me. And in the dream, Stevie's dad said, I had a good life. I did what I came to do. Keep up the good work. Keep up the good work. Y'all, keep up the good work.